Huh? You like that? How does that make you feel?
Weird and uncomfortable.
I would have never thought Benny would ever get jealous. All right, guys, in the entire time that I've watched George Lopez, I will tell you this. And you might be thinking, jealous how, right? But in this episode, George basically ends up hiring a maid to clean up because he's so successful, as well as Angie apparently, to the point where he just does not have time to clean the house anymore. And what is just supposed to be someone getting hired to just come and clean once a day becomes probably one of those little emotional things for George, as Ernie points out, that ends up snowballing into a whole different issue and a reveal that apparently Benny is jealous someone is treating his son in an affectionate way.
You want a hug? Will that end this?
Yeah, it would, but you'll never do it.
Well, you don't know that.
Kind of like how she should be doing, right? So let's get on into this episode. Let's talk about it. But before I do that, thank you guys so much for the support. I am here basically all week. Right now, like I said, I'm traveling, so it's a little bit difficult to do these videos, but I do hope you guys enjoy them. Let me know if there's an episode you guys want me to cover down below. Let's get on with it.
This place is a mess. It's like I'm a kid again living with you, Mom.
The house's cleanliness is basically a victim of Angie's success.
I was gonna clean it up, but I'm swamped with work. I just booked another wedding and a quinceañera.
Now, Angie's business is taking off, and honestly, that's great. But the fact that the house is messy is apparently all her responsibility. George is apparently working so hard that it doesn't even matter, right?
Oh, you can't cook, you don't clean, and you won't discipline your kids.
Mom.
Just trying to see what the attraction is.
So basically, after Vic and Veronica, the richest people in the room, tell them that they need a maid, honestly, to anyone that is not living the rich life, that just sounds a little off-putting, and it kind of sounds the same to George, which is interesting, right?
Oh, no maids. I don't want some stranger in my house going through my stuff, invading my privacy.
But we only come to realize that George feels this way because he's too lazy, or perhaps even too tired to even do the housework himself. So George and Angie end up doing a whole interview process to see if there's anyone that is willing to come and clean the house at least once a week.
Thank you, Cheyenne. We'll give you a call. You know what? I like her.
This is probably one of the weirdest scenes here, how George is like drooling over this girl, man. And it's interesting that Angie is not even shook about it.
She has no experience.
See that tongue stud? She got experience.
Not as a maid.
Not as a maid, but you hire her and she learns. She like that.
But then we end up meeting Ruth.
Hi, Angie. Hi, George.
Ruth is basically someone that goes to church with them, and for some reason, George is a little bit against having her there.
Honey, having Ruth here would be much better than some stranger.
No offense, Ruth, but the person we hire has to do some pretty tough work around here.
But Ruth knows the way to George's heart, as she ends up offering a small little bribe.
You some muffins.
I'm not making any decisions based on a muffin. It's a big deal for me to bring someone into my house.
And just like that, that's all it takes to convince George that Ruth can have the job.
You start tomorrow, senora, you're fired.
So when Ruth comes in, she's sweet, she's warm, she's paying attention to what George is doing and feeling.
I'm not gonna be in your way here, am I?
No, it's your house. Do whatever you normally would. Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, just fighting a cold.
Oh.
And immediately, George is hooked.
I'm gonna make you some chicken soup.
Really?
You know what they say? Chicken soup is a mother's penicillin.
When I was a kid, my mom's penicillin was, "Hey, fathead, walk it off."
You see, Ruth is basically doing normal things. She just cares, she's listening, she's asking questions. But to George, it's something more almost supernatural.
Yeah, well, I have put in a lot of hours trying to break the productivity record at the plant.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did.
Good for you.
See, the man grew up with Benny, so of course, anything that is affectionate is just going to be something that is out of this world for him. And the comedy here comes from George acting like this woman is out of this world, out of this universe, but also how he reverts to some type of childlike behavior.
It's not a big deal or anything. I mean, in the whole history of the company, they've only given out 2, and the letters are in gold. You want to see it?
Oh, would you look at that? This is going on the fridge, mister.
And so at first, Ruth seems like the perfect solution until she starts to coddle George, so much to the point where she is no longer actually doing any of the housework.
What happened? It's a mess in here.
I'm sorry. I meant to get to it, but we have had such a busy Saturday.
And so, of course, Angie gets annoyed because that is not what they hired Ruth for. And so she brings this up to George.
You really like Ruth, but I think she'd rather coddle you than do the work. It's been 2 weeks and I've talked to her, but the house is still a mess. We need to let her go.
George, of course, pretends like he cares about her and just wants her to continue to have the job. And so he tells her that he's going to give her another chance.
You know what? When I get back from my meeting, I'll tell her it's not working out.
No, you don't even know her. I'll take care of it.
But George, being so desperate for all this attention that Ruth is giving him, decides to go the extra mile and actually do the work for Ruth.
Hey, I don't get this. Just because your cleaning woman is nice, you're gonna do all her work for her?
Hey, man, it's more than that. You know, she cooks for me. She makes sure I'm feeling okay.
You see, Ruth is hired to clean, but George is treating her like she is there to clean up his childhood.
You sound more like a mom than a maid. Oh, we're getting into your weird area, aren't we?
Now here comes the Benny part, because as soon as Benny sees George and Ruth interact, Benny feels threatened.
Thanks, Mom. You made me a cake?
That's not for you.
And it's not because she's doing something, stepping out of line, she's disrespecting the family, or even because she's just doing anything wrong. It's just because she's doing something Benny would never give George. And it's interesting that we see this side of Benny, because for some reason, we are made to believe that she is jealous. But instead of reflecting that, Benny gets defensive. And see, George loves having Ruth around, but if you really think about it, it's kind of sad. So yes, it's funny watching George act all kiddish around Ruth, but you have to think about this, because just the episode that I covered, George found out what his life would have been like had Benny been nice to him. But for some reason, this is a complete plot hole, because being nice to him would not have made him do anything. Or maybe he kind of had a point. And I know the camera is a little shaky, so I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying not to move the desk as much. Now, Angie sees the problem, but Benny is the one that takes it personally.
I'm sorry that you've got nothing in your life. So to make up for it, you're trying to steal other people's kids.
You see, Angie just basically sees this as George feeling good because this is something that he never had growing up. But Benny feels like her spot is literally being taken. I mean, if she even thinks that she deserves that spot, right? See, Benny is jealous that Ruth is literally doing the mother role that she never did.
I wasn't trying to steal George.
If Benny had literally done what Ruth is doing, then Ruth would just be another nice lady in the house that is there to clean one day a week.
Are you jealous of Ruth?
No.
And I thought about this a lot. I thought maybe Benny doesn't want to be replaced. She wants her place in the family. But when I really think deep, I feel like Benny thinks if she gets replaced, she's literally going to be kicked out of the house. There's not going to be space for whatever hate and negative energy she has to spit out.
I just think it's strange to come in here and see you hugging my son.
Now, this is where Benny comes up with the plan to frame Ruth.
Dad, someone stole money from my room. I think Ruth took it.
You see, for Christmas, apparently Benny ended up giving Max some money. And now Max is looking for it because he is going on a date. So, of course, Max ends up blaming Ruth.
Hold on a second. Before we start calling people thieves, you gave them $50?
And George immediately gets offended. Of course, George has a plan to figure out where the money actually is.
Oh, look at that. No one stole it. It's on the floor. Max must have dropped it. Ah! You took the money and you hid it in there. I knew it.
And once he's onto Benny, he decides to follow through even harder.
If I'm wrong and there's no 50 in there, I'm going to have to stab my eyes out.
Only for Benny to come clean and show the money. So this is where Benny ends up coming clean about why she did what she did. You see, Benny basically tells George that it's weird that he sees her hugging Ruth.
I just think it's strange to come in here and see you hugging my son.
And George calls her bluff.
Why should that bother you? You never hug me.
I hugged you plenty.
So after George gets left standing by Benny, he realizes that that's just the way it's gonna be. Until we get to the closing scene. Benny ends up embracing George in probably one of the most rare moments in the entire series. And just as George is trying to take a picture of it, he realizes his one opportunity is now gone.
I didn't save it. One more
So at first, this episode looks like just a simple maid episode. You know, the Lopez's do not have time to clean the house anymore because they are so dang successful. But the real story is Benny realizing that George has finally found that affection that he has always craved from her, and she realizes that she can just be replaced when it comes to that. But Benny sees it, gets jealous, and ruins it, which makes this episode kind of funny, but also extremely sad if you really think about it. You see, Benny wants to be George's mom, she just doesn't know how to actually mother him. Alrighty, guys, if you enjoy the content, let me know down below. I promise you, the setting is gonna go away soon. I'm only here 2 more days. 2 more days. And then it's back to regular scheduling, I hope. There is a lot of things happening right now, and I'm trying to continue the channel live. You know, I know you guys love this content, and it's a little bit difficult for me to do all of this right now, but just trust me, we're going somewhere with this. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Let me know how your week is going down in the comment section below. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.